All right, hit record. There we go. We're ready to get started. All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Survive to Thrive. Grab some pen and paper. I want you to create 4 boxes. Now, in the top right box, I want you to write. All right, helps if I get closer. I want you to write business. In the top left box. In the top right box, I want you to write money. Bottom left box, family. Bottom right box, health. By the way, you can create whatever you want when you're doing this exercise. The exercise is called future forecasting, by the way. Now, the 2 that I would want you to keep in these 4 boxes are business and money. This is training and coaching for real estate agents. So we want to focus on what is your business going to look like 5 years from now? What does money look like for you 5 years from now? It's a future forecast. Now, I want you to actually fill in these 4 boxes as we're speaking. Allow yourself to get into deep thought and ask yourself the question, what does my business look like 5 years from now? What does money look like for me 5 years ago? I'm not going to ask you to answer the question, if failure wasn't an option, what would business look like? It's a horrible question, because it's implying that failure is an option. So next time somebody asks you that, I want you to remind yourself that's a horrible question. It's a horrible question because it's implying that failure is an option. So get rid of the if failure wasn't an option and just answer the question, what does my business look like 5 years from now? What does money look like for me 5 years from now? Have I created financial freedom? Am I still working? Do I have a year's worth of living expenses in my savings account in case something were to happen? Is my family financially taken care of if something were to happen to me and I can no longer work? What are the answers to these questions? What do you want your life to look like 5 years from now in your business and in your family? Health. What does your life look like 5 years from now? Family. What does that look like for you 5 years from now? The exercise, again, is future forecasting. Now, here's the thing that I know, guys, as you're doing an exercise like this, and I really want you to do the exercise. Now, for those of you who want additional support and additional accountability around this exercise, email me your results. I'd love to look at them. I'd love to get back to you and chat with you about how are you going to do it? Because that's the next question. Once you've identified where you want to be 5 years from now, what's the path to get there? It's not doing what you're currently doing. But because if you keep doing what you're currently doing, you're going to keep getting what you're currently getting. It ain't going to work. If we did another way of doing this same exercise is to use a present positive, future positive model, which simply means what's going well right now, present positive. Now, here's that 5-year exercise. Where do you want to be 5 years from now? That's future positive. So you've created this plan. The next thing, in order to achieve this plan, in order to future forecast to a reality, is to identify the obstacles, that's present negative, that are between you and where you want to be 5 years from now. Now, what is your plan in order to remove these obstacles? If you ignore that, you are going to end up here, which is future negative. And future negative simply means you're exactly where you are today. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? You're happy, you're comfortable, gee whiz. But is that what you want? Or do you want more? Is more even a possibility for you? Or do you see yourself as someone who is settled in a place where this is as good as it gets. All right, couple thoughts I want to share with you. So most people never bother to imagine what might need to occur in order to shift their lives from acceptable to incredible. Most people never bother to imagine what might need to occur in order to shift their lives from acceptable to incredible. I don't know how you feel about that. I can tell you how I feel about that. It's my number one frustration. The thing that keeps me awake at night is we settle. You know, Jim Collins in his book, when he was writing Good to Great, he asked the question, why aren't there more great businesses in the United States? And the answer to the question is because there's so many good ones. And he shares in the book that good is the enemy of great because so many of us settle for good when great is an option. Here's another one for you. Too many of us settle for great when best is an option. Most people never bother to imagine what might need to occur in order to shift their lives from acceptable to incredible. Instead, many of us, our minds flashing momentarily upon the possibility of incredible results. Think about that for a moment, okay? Our minds flashing momentarily upon the possibility of incredible results. Actively endeavor to control our imagination by shutting it down completely. You'll hear yourself say things like, is that realistic? Am I thinking too big? John, I don't like to set goals because if I don't hit the goals, I'm disappointed. I want to aim lower so I can hit the target. We will actively endeavor to control our imagination by shutting it down completely. Why do we do that? We never allow ourselves to think about what might happen. We never allow ourselves to think about what might happen. You know what? I'm going to disagree with that. So let me explain what I mean by that. We're really good at imagining what might happen when it comes to negative stuff. We're really good at that. What if? What if? What if? And usually what if is followed by something that creates fear. If you're going through adversity in your life, bunny trail alert, if you're going through adversity in your life and you find yourself thinking, what if, you're getting out there into the dark, scary desert where you can't see, and it's scary. And what you need to do is get back into your headlights and deal with what you can see. Just deal with what you can see and leave what if out of the equation. But here's the thing, going back to how this bunny trail started. We're really good, Jacqueline, at what if questions when it comes to negative stuff. But when it comes to using our imagination, we shut it down. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Why do we allow ourselves to think so small? If you think I don't deal with this stuff, you're wrong. I mean, one of the reasons I do what I do is because I know what it feels like to be you. The reason I know what it feels like to be you is because you and I have the same challenges. 10x is easier than 2x. 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. But if that's true, then why do so few of us have a 10x mindset? All right, so We actively endeavor to control our imagination by shutting it down completely. We never allow ourselves to think about. We never allow ourselves to think about what might happen. Again, not on the negative side. We're super good at that. We're super good at thinking of all the bad things that can happen. But on the good side, we never allow ourselves to think about what might happen because we have already decided what will happen. Write that down. We never allow ourselves to think about what might happen because we have already decided what will happen. How can anyone recognize a thing they have already convinced themselves does not exist? How can you recognize a thing that you've convinced yourself it does not exist? You know, your mind will work to move you in a direction of what you focus most. So if you're constantly focused on negative shit, you're going to have more negative shit in your life. If you have limiting beliefs that you have allowed to hold you back, then you're going to be attached to those limiting beliefs. And when something good happens that gives you an opportunity to have a breakthrough, you'll sabotage it. You'll sabotage it because your subconscious mind is telling you, no, that's not for you. It's for other people. You know, in his book, Bruce Wilkinson shares in The Dream Giver that Ordinary, who lives in Familiar, woke up one morning and there was a feather in the windowsill. And the feather simply meant that the dream giver had placed a dream in Ordinary's heart. And he went to his parents and he said, I've got this dream. And they said, you need to think smaller. You need to be more careful. We don't want to see you go after that big dream and get hurt. He went to work and he told his friends and he told the people that he worked with, and everywhere he went, everybody told him, you need to think smaller. You need to be more realistic. You need to aim lower. We're trying to protect you from something bad happening. And he decided that he was going to do it anyways. And in the book, these people are referred to as dream bullies. Who are your dream bullies? You might be surprised that your dream bully lives in the same house as you do. That it's a friend, a family member, and they're not intentionally trying to be a bully. They're actually trying to help you. And when you find dream bullies in your life, you need to find your dream champions. The dream champion, Kristen, is that person who comes alongside you and says, yes, you can do that. Absolutely, you could do that. Anything is possible. Everything is possible. I'll go with you. Let's do this together. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, because quite the opposite. It's not going to be easy. Success is simple, but it's not easy. And all that means is, here's the blueprint. Go do this. But this is hard as hell. You've got to show up every single day. Dial, talk, dial, talk, dial, talk, dial, talk. Dealing with rejection after rejection after rejection. So what? Now what? Next. Next needs to become your favorite word. So what? Now what? Next. You know, there's 250 work days in a year. It's working 50 weeks, 5 days a week. And if you have 20 conversations, if that's work, what is work? Work is 20 conversations a day. It's not 19, it's not 18, it's not 17. If I have 18 conversations, I didn't have the 19th conversation. The 19th conversation could have been the listing that I didn't get simply because I didn't have the conversation. But number 18 yelled at me, John. I don't want to make any more calls. I'm discouraged. I want to give up. I just want to go lay in bed and eat ice cream. It's make the next call. Now, what if you allowed yourself 250 days a year to stop one call short? That's 250 fewer calls. How much money are you leaving? Olga, I see you nodding your head. You know I'm talking to you, girl. How much money are you leaving on the table because you allow yourself to be held back by this vision you've created of yourself as less than what God created you to be? How can anyone recognize a thing they have already convinced themselves does not exist? Where are you going to be 5 years from now? All right, guys, talk to me.
I love this.
Thank you, Matthew.
Really good.
You know, when I'm about to finish with my calls and, say like I didn't get that 19th conversation, I don't know, I get motivation from this, telling myself, just one more.
Right.
And I'll call until I get that next conversation. It's like, this person's going to answer. I talk like out loud, saying the person's name, like, John, you want to answer the phone, the phone.
Right. That's right.
And for some reason I get motivation from that.
Daryl, I'm like you. And I don't know, man. I think, first of all, faith is really important to me. Secondly, I think God is constantly teaching us lessons. And I don't know if it's intentional or not, but so often it's the last call. It's the last call that turns into the win that day. And it's almost like, I have these okay, this is where you guys are going to think I'm weird, but whatever. These imaginary conversations going on with God, right? And I can hear him saying, I'm testing your faith. I'm testing your faith. Just make one more call. This is the one. This is the one, Jacqueline, that's going to turn into your win for the day. But you got to make the call, because if you don't make this one more call, it ain't going to happen.
Actually, I can relate this very much so to the days of playing professional golf.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many times where I'm traveling the entire country, living in my car across the country, driving from Monday qualifier to Monday qualifier. Okay, miss. Okay, where's the next one? Okay, miss. Where's the next one? And now we're like 30 weeks straight on the road. And then, all right, US Open qualifiers next week. All right, well, let's see what we get. And then finally, when you're about to quit and you just keep pushing, God kind of gives you like a, hey, keep pushing. I'm gonna award you for keep having your efforts there.
Right. That's right. Thank you, Matthew.
Can I ask
Hey, John, there's an old saying, your head is out to get your butt, right? So if we listen to that inner voice too much, it's like the old Eagles song, don't let the sound of your old wheels drive you crazy. And I think there's a lot of satisfaction in just knowing we completed those tasks, even if we didn't get an immediate result. So I know how we feel if we don't do like the 20 calls, but
Yeah.
if we do it, it's like, okay, yeah, I did it.
That's right. Celebrate. Thank you, Tom. Celebrate the fact that you made the 20 calls. Who cares if you schedule an appointment? Who cares? The fact that you made the calls, that's the win. Vivian, I think you were teed up, and if not, it was either no. It was shoot.
It was Vivian, I think.
It was me.
Talk to me.
I just need encouragement. How do you get even 5 conversations when you call expireds? I called the other day for 2 hours and I got 1 conversation and it was a no. And I was like, and I always fail and give up because I'm more of a sphere of influence. But I'm sorry, I'm being very like transparent and honest.
Yes,
I
yes, you are.
I give up because I'm a sphere of influence, but my challenge is I want to be good at expireds because I'm challenged and I want to be successful with them.
Matthew Kemps, tee it up.
Start calling agents.
I'm
Start.
sorry. What did he say?
Make phone calls to real estate agents for the expireds, not the sellers directly.
That's right.
Call. I missed it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't hear what he said either.
I'll fill in the blanks for you here. So Vivian, call real estate agents that had the expired listing. If you're going to put the home, are you going to be putting the home at 123 Main Street back on the market? If not, I'll gladly pay you a referral of 25% for introducing me to the seller.
Okay, I'll try that.
No, try it. Do it.
I will do that. I will
Okay.
do that. Thank
Okay.
you.
Also, John, with expireds, if I'm going a long time without getting contacts, I'll either switch to older expireds or a different source, because if you're talking to the new expireds, if you're calling, you have to call right away. But if you're not getting those pickups, then switch. I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't go 2 hours with just like one contact,
Yeah.
because that will be discouraging to you if you get that one and it's a person that tells you no.
That's right.
That's 2 hours of not getting somebody. So just switch the source. Probably go to older expireds. You get a better pickup rate.
Genius.
Thank you.
Same with same as Daryl when you're calling agents. I've had more success calling from 60 to 90 days expired than I have from 1 to 30.
There you go.
Why is that?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Maybe, I mean, no, it will help. I'm going to do that today.
There you go.
Reason, I think the agents have been sitting on it for a while. The sellers haven't reacted. Maybe they're waiting for another time of year to relist, and they're still contemplating their options. Even the agent might be contemplating their options. So I don't know. It's going to sound kind of blunt. The vulnerability is a little higher.
Makes sense.
All right. I've got 3 hands up. I want to hit them all before we jump. So Hawk, Michael, and Jacqueline, let's go.
Yeah, so one of the things that one of my mentors early on taught me was set the goal of the amount of time you're calling, not the number of contacts you're going to make. You can have a soft goal for the number of contacts to make. But if you set a goal of I'm going to call for 2 hours, whether it's voicemails for the whole 2 hours or whether it's I'm talking to 3 people over the course of those 2 hours and I have really deep conversations, that's been really helpful for me to not get discouraged, because
There you go.
the
Hawk.
days that I get all voicemails, it's like, then feeling torn about that. So hopefully that helps.
There you go. Thank you, Hawk. Jacqueline, talk to us. You're on mute. There you
I'm
go.
trying to understand how that works, calling expired with another agent. And why would the seller listen to someone that had failed selling? I mean, I don't understand how you get from here to there, Matthew.
Thursday.
Okay.
It's going to be
All
the entire conversation Thursday.
All right.
We'll
Thank
we'll mastermind this. Michael, you're up.
John, I know we're just about out of time. I'm going to add in here because, as you know, a lot of people know John and I coach. I've hired John as a private coach back in September last year. One of the most important things I think to hold through this is you get the right guide. We'll show you the numbers and the percentages, and you can start relying on your percentages, right? Just like a baseball player or anybody else that watches their numbers.
Right.
If you're not really tracking what you're doing and don't have a baseline to compare against, it can get discouraging.
That's right.
But when, if my target is 8%, I know that John says I can get to 15 because that's where people get to, then we have what to improve. And then I've seen it played out over thousands of calls. The percentages and numbers are the numbers, and your skills, reveal that. And as long as you know kind of what your target is, you can really it keeps you motivated and keeps you going. So the path is in the math, right?
That's it. The path is in the math. Business is a math equation. Guys, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. I hope you got great value today. Thank you for being here. Please tell your friends. Jump on my YouTube channel to search John Dietz, our Rainmaker training and coaching. The video will be there, and go get them. Time to get to work. Make it happen.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks, Chicken.
go
Thank
get
you,
them,
Dan.
guys.
Have a good day, everyone.
You got it.